Few things are for sure in this life, but this is. If we live for any substantial amount of time, we will encounter grief due to the loss of a loved one. Not something any of us ever want, and we all handle it differently. This podcast is to feature those who have done purposeful and meaningful things through their grief. These people featured on here are normal folks, just like you and me, who were thrust into a place they never wanted to be in their lives. A painful place. As they moved through their pain, they realized that something worthwhile, something for the greater good, could come out of the unthinkable. I'm sure that none of them would ever consider themselves to be a hero, but when I searched the definition of the word hero, I found this: a person who is admired or idolized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. And that fit. And so it's my privilege to bring you the remarkable stories of these heroes in grief. Hi, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Heroes in Grief podcast, and the response has been incredible so far, and I want to thank you for that. It's getting out to people, and they're letting us know that it's helping them, and that is what it's all about. I want to make you aware of a way that you can support this podcast without having to spend 1 cent, and that is through affiliate marketing. I've set up affiliate marketing for online shopping. If you do online shopping, then I have links to all the major retailers, most of them anyways, and I can provide them for you so that when you buy online through those links, you'll help support the podcast through the percentages that we get. It doesn't cost you anything more. You just shop like you regularly would on the sites that you love. It's very easy. All you have to do is shop. And that's it. Just let me know the links to the places that you want to shop at, and I will provide the affiliate links so that you can do it. If you want more information on this, you can go to heroesandgrief.com. It takes you to the Linktree page where a video explains it in a little more detail. But you can always email me at tom@heroesandgrief.com, and I can answer questions for you. But you can support the podcast that way, and it's very easy, very simple, and it doesn't cost you a cent. Isn't that great? Thank you. Now here's today's episode. Hey, everybody, welcome, and thanks for tuning in to Heroes in Grief today, and it's always great to have you with us. I really appreciate all you listening and watching out there, and the responses that you've sent to me. It's amazing, and we're just trying to, all of us on Heroes in Grief, all the guests I have and myself, we're just trying to get resources out to everybody so that you can better your life and better your walk with grief especially, and just have an enhanced life. So that's what it's all about, and today I've got PapaJack Gindi with me, and his name is Jack Gindi actually, but he goes by PapaJack. And PapaJack is part of the Helping Fathers Heal group that I'm in, and we met personally down in Arizona back in August, and so great to have you on, Jack. How are you today?
I'm doing well, doing really good. So if you notice, my pupil's a little big. I just came from an eye exam, so they're all fully dilated. So that may look a little strange if you see me looking straight on into the camera.
Not under the influence or anything.
No, I'm not under the influence. Definitely
amazing.
not.
Love it.
Yeah.
Jack, I'll tell you, I was looking at some things with you, with what you're doing. And first of all, I want to tell everyone, you can check out things even as we're talking. And if you want to go to his site, it's called BelieveBecomeBU.com. And so that's all spelled out, Believe, Become, and BEUYOU.com. And you can see some of the things that we're going to be talking about here. But Jack, I'd also like you to share, if you would, because, you know, obviously Heroes in Grief and why we met through Helping Fathers Heal, your experience with the loss of your son, Sean, and that situation. And then, you know, of course, we want to talk about what you're doing, and I'm sure it's integrated in that. And so I'd like to hear how that's all transpired through all of that. So if you wouldn't mind sharing your story, there's so much power in the stories, as you know. And so I'd like to get that out there for everybody so that they can find those relational points. You know, that's what really happens. I think that someone resonates with you or with your story, and then it goes from there. So,
Yeah. Wow. In the context of what we're talking about, and my story and my story with Sean, my son Sean had always said to me in his adult life, when I say adult life, since he was graduated college, how much he saw us as the same,
Mm.
meaning him and I.
Mhm.
He said, we I didn't expect this so soon,
Yeah,
so I
that's good. It's
apologize.
all right.
Yeah, I apologize, but he definitely, he talked about that. And throughout his life, in his very early 20s, in 1999, he was 22 years old, and he started his first company. And the name of the company was Infinite LLC. And I had no idea he started this company. Quite honestly, I learned about it later in life, that he had this thing that he had started, because when he was starting and graduated from college, and I turned him on to the accountant that I was using, the accountant always taught him about, in business, set up these companies and there's lots of tax advantages for
Yeah.
having them. So he did that. And and after he passed, I going through his things, I found got his wallet, and he has this American Express Platinum card with Infinite LLC, member since 1999.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, 22-year-old kid,
Hmm.
22. And so he had this entrepreneurial spirit, which was, I guess that's what he talked about. Like, we were very similar and the same. He took after me. And we did many ventures together. But this latest thing that I did, and um, and how it all comes together for me, this latest thing that I did, which was start a foundation, about 10 months before Sean passed away, called the I Believe in Me Foundation. And it was about teaching kids these programs that you see on Believe, Become, Be You. The I Believe in Me program, the life mapping program that we have, the Living by a Code program, all of those things for kids and families to live the best version of themselves, that they can possibly be in. And he knew that I started this company, this foundation, and he knew I was building this thing, but he was involved in his own struggles in life and overcoming his issues, and he had his own business that he was involved with, and didn't really get involved with me in it. Um, but when he passed, the day of his funeral, he came to me in a meditation, because I meditate every morning. It's part of what I teach kids and families to do every day. And he came to me that morning and he said, "Thank you, Dad. And to thank you for doing what you're doing with the foundation." He says, "I want you to know that was my idea." And I'm like, "Sean,
Wow.
what are you talking about? It was your idea." And he says, "No," he says, "really, Dad, I mean, I want you to know I appreciate what you're doing for kids, families," in this very quick kind of sentence that he gave me. "But thank you for doing this." And I didn't understand it at the time. And at the day of his funeral, I talked about it. I talked about, hey, all my friends and family, they know what I've been doing over the last 10, 12 months, creating these programs, starting a foundation to bring these programs to kids. And Sean told me that it was his idea. So from this day forward, I'm dedicating the foundation to Sean. Well, the next day, Tom, my family and my three other sons, their wives, my six grandchildren, and my wife and his girlfriend went to his condo where he lived. I hadn't visited it since he passed on Wednesday. This was on Friday when we had the funeral. So this was Saturday morning, the day after that we go to his house. And my son goes through his desk and finds his journals, things that he wrote in. And he opened up his journal, and And the page that he opens it up on, right on the top, my son wrote in 2013, 11 years earlier, I want to transform the lives of kids. I want to give them an experience they never thought possible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He showed it to me. And later in that writing, somewhere in the middle of the page or the next page, and he says, and I'm giving this to you to do because you can do it better than I. And I'm like,
Ooh.
whoa.
So that was 2013.
Yeah.
And when did you start it, actually?
In 2024, in January of 2024, I started it.
And you didn't talk to him about this specific thing or anything.
Nothing, never knew that was a passion of his. Never knew he has pages and pages of writings that he talks about giving people an experience, enriching lives. My 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 sole purpose statement is I'm a bridge connecting people, enriching the lives of everyone I touch. I shared that statement with him. I did do that. That I've come up with that. I wanted him to take this weekend thing that I did where I found my sole purpose. When he was struggling in his life with addiction and he was going through the issues that he was going through. I tried to encourage him to do a lot of the things that I did in personal growth and self-help. And that's where all my programs came from, was my own struggles in life.
Hmm.
But so so when you ask about Sean, and I started this conversation with saying we were so much alike, we were so tied together. He showed me how really we are, and how the struggles of addiction that I've had to overcome, and the struggles that he had to overcome. Unfortunately, he succumbed. He, he died of a fentanyl overdose.
As did my son Jeff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So just so everybody knows out there, although we got connected at the conference and everything, we didn't share stories there about all of this at all. I have I want a couple of questions now, and probably we're going to take this right away, where people are going to be blown away. But
I went right into this. I apologize if I came up with that too soon.
no, I love it. I love it when things just go, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So, but yeah. So first of all, I want to add a little levity. When you started talking about Sean and saying that I'm just like you, Dad, and this or whatever. Now with Jeff and I, he'd do something and I'd say, you got that from me. Like you didn't want to be part of that. You didn't want that really. And you just give me this
Right.
look like, yeah, right, Dad. Thanks. Thanks a lot. So that's the
Yeah,
way I went with us. But
yeah,
the other thing where we're going to take this and right away, people who listen a lot, they know how I feel about these connections and our sole purpose, these type of things. And so now when you first said that, when you said you got this from me, Dad, what I thought right away was on the cosmic level of our souls and Sean's purpose in this or on this earth and to influence you or be part of that process. Is that the way you see it, that you see that we're connected with our soul groups and our soul people and everything, and that part of his purpose here was to impart that to you and continues to guide you in that? Is that what you see?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The second part to that story about Infinite LLC that he started in 1999 was in 2009, 10 years later. Sean introduced me to a guy by the name of Mike Dooley. Mike Dooley has written quite a few books. People may have heard of him. He was in The Secret. He coined the phrase thoughts become things. He wrote this book called Infinite Possibilities in 2009, 10 years after Sean started his Infinite LLC. Mike writes a book called Infinite Possibilities. Sean introduces me to that world. Sean, he told me about Mike doing a book tour in Denver. I went to the book tour. I met Mike. I got his book. I lived his practices that he taught in that. Several years later, I got an email from Mike, as many of the followers that follow him get, and he invited me to become a certified trainer I believe, in the Infinite Possibilities program, to be able to teach it to other adults. And this was only, 5 years ago or so. So it was recent that I got that and became a certified trainer. I said, sure, I'm in retirement. I've built my life. I've been successful. It's time for me to give back. I became a certified trainer and started teaching adults the Infinite Possibilities program. And then after doing that for about 6 months, my wife and we took a long trip. I took like almost a year off from doing anything. We spent time in Italy, time back in New York, time at our place in Mexico. And I came back and I hadn't seen my grandchildren for, 8 months or so. It was quite a while. And I noticed the difference in the older ones when they went from 12 to 13, who's now 14, I noticed the difference. And I said, I remember this. Sorry about that. I remember that there was this woman, and I couldn't remember her name at the time, who took Mike's program, The Infinite Possibilities, and turned it into a kids program. And so I heard about Mike doing the training again, and I said, I'm going to re-audit this because I know that she's going to be there and I want to meet her. And so I re-audited it, and I met Rebecca Sagoda, who wrote with Mike the I Believe in Me program, which is taking Infinite Possibilities and turning it into a kids program. And that was in 2015 that she did that. So when I followed the timeline of Sean's Infinite LLC and his introduction to me, to Mike in 2009, my awareness of it in 2020 something, early 20s, becoming the trainer, and then the reintroduction to Rebecca with the I Believe in Me program, me starting a foundation. Do I think Sean played a role in that? His whole purpose in life, one of his sole purpose was connecting with me. He chose me as his dad to be my son, and for a lesson that I need to learn. You and I think you believe the same. We have a purpose. We have a contract that we were put on this earth to fulfill. That was part of his contract, was this whole orchestration of, and the trail that he left behind, the proof of all the dates and all the writings and when Sean wrote in 2014, or 2013 it was, 2013, I want to transform the lives of kids. In 2015, Rebecca writes the I Believe in Me program, taking Mike's program, who he introduced me to 4 years earlier. Yeah, there's an eeriness to it.
It's an amazement. Did Mike or Rebecca ever mention anything about Sean or any influence there that they knew of?
No. I've spoken with Rebecca about it, and so she knows about the way I think about it. But everybody's on their journey. So did Mike have any connection to Sean? No, not that I know of. I'm not saying I'm not saying Sean influenced Mike to write it. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that the universe as a whole orchestrated this for our lives, for that to be part of our lives.
And we are all interconnected. So that's all part of the web that you're involved in. Yeah. Hello, friends. I just wanted to take a brief break here in the podcast to make you aware of a very exciting partnership that Heroes in Grief has just formed, and that is with Get Griefy Magazine. I'm going to let their founder and editor-in-chief, Kara Sanchez, tell you all about it.
Hey, Heroes in Grief listeners. Life after loss isn't easy, but it can be colorful and full of possibilities. Meet Get Griefy Magazine. a vibrant resource filled with inspiring stories of life after loss, expert advice, and voices from everyday grievers and thought leaders. Together, they're here to help guide you toward the side of life that's left to be lived fully and authentically. Dive into Get Griefy for free on Issue or snag a print copy on Amazon. Connect with us on Instagram at Get Griefy Magazine or visit getgriefymagazine.com to explore, join our thriving small business collective, or discover advertising opportunities. Let's embrace life after loss, boldly and together.
And now back to our episode.
Yeah.
Did Sean ever have in his writings anything along the lines of when those things were developing or happening, or anything, any relation to any of those that you saw?
No, just just what he wrote and his desired and the timing of when he wrote it.
Mm-hmm. What was his
But he didn't
company?
reference Mike specifically or Rebecca or anything like that.
Or
No.
those processes that they were involved
Those
in.
was
Right.
probably in his own subconscious. Those were playing.
Yeah. What was his company? What was it? Infinity? Infinite.
Just Infinite LLC.
And what was that about?
Everything and anything that he ever did, he ran through.
Oh, he just ran an umbrella kind of.
Right. An umbrella company.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Amazing, Jack.
Yeah.
These podcasts blow me away because people just do this all the time where I'm like, I had no idea about so much of this. And it's just.
No, it had us at 20, he's 22. He just graduated college and he's got this foresight to understand it. And, and when he was struggling, when he was going through a really hard time and a hard time financially, and he had racked up all this kinds of bad credit card debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, he went through a rough time. And I said, Sean, you need a reset, man. You need a reboot. And part of the beautiful part of the country that we live in, I'm not saying that you should go bad on your debts, but bankruptcy is a way out. He would never do it. He would never do it because, you know why? He didn't want to give up. And he said to me, I can't give up my name and my credit. He didn't want to give up that card.
Yeah.
He didn't want to give up that company. He didn't want to, he wouldn't do that.
No,
Yeah.
A lot of pride, right?
He worked his way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he taught me a lot and he continues to, Tom. He still comes. And we had a beautiful relationship. We had some struggles, of course. There were the struggles, the hardest part and the struggles between the two of us were always about, in the later years, in the recent years, financial struggles, financial support that he wanted from me. And then, as an addict, I'm not going to, I was an enabler too long.
All right.
And then I realized I can't be that any longer.
It is so
So
hard.
of course, he hated me during that period of time.
Yeah. Well, as a parent, I mean, we took Jeff in when he was getting out of that, wanted to get out of that stuff. And so we toyed with that or struggled with that decision because our lives were already set and we're, cruising along, and Jeff and I had been estranged he chose not to be in contact with me about 5 years before he came to us. And so I knew what he was involved in. His mom would tell me all the times, but so Judy and I are like, wow, do we want to take this on? And as a recovering addict and involved with that's the stress of that. Like, do we want to take this monumental thing on? And I will tell, and many will probably, throughout my whole life may say things about it or whatever. But I believe he really was wanting to change at that point. So he said what he needed to say to us. I had no idea what that was going to be, but he did. And he made us feel comfortable with it. And honestly, I don't think he was using the whole time he was here or anything like that. He fell back into it at the end or whatever and never showed other indications of that. But, it's so hard for the loved ones who want to, be helping in that situation and not enable, like you said, but the love is there and you want to care for them, and it's such a struggle, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean also, we had dinner with him 2 nights before he passed. 2 nights, it was on a Sunday night. We had dinner with him and his girlfriend, smiles, laughs, great time. Never thought anything. Never thought he was using, didn't think he was using at all. And, and then 2 days later, we find out, you know.
And how long ago was that, Jack?
That was November 20th. So 10, 11 months, coming on 11 months now.
Wow. You are so fresh in this, brother. And you're amazing for where you're at. And I know you don't feel that inside. We never do, right? Where it's like people say that or whatever. But, did you?
You know what it is? I've been working on personal growth, self-help, meditating, journaling, writing, visualizing forever. I've been doing it forever. And I was on a journey before Sean passed away, promoting the I Believe in Me program and the Believe Become Be You platform. And so as part of that process, I was doing daily videos every day, posting on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, me live, doing a live recording every day, teaching people that the way you get things done in life is by showing up every day and doing small little steps every single day. And the day that Sean passed away, I did a recording. If you go on to any of those platforms and you look me up on November 20th, you'll see I did a recording that day about being in mourning. I did not know Sean passed away. I didn't learn until 11:30 that night that he passed away. I did this recording around noon that afternoon. And I said, don't build a home in hardship. Don't make mourning your address. Don't let yesterday steal your tomorrow. That's what I said that day, that afternoon to the world. And then I learned my son passed away. And so how do you find strength? I find strength in living the words that I speak, I guess.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
words are probably pretty hollow for a while, right? In that acute grief phase. Yeah.
Well, I just said, God, what kind of test are you putting me through?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what I said. It's like, okay, I surrender.
Yeah.
I just surrender. Yeah.
I just, and I was going to put a video out about this, and I was going to I thought of the men's group right away because of what we experience in there and helping parents heal in general. I mean, I talk about it all the time, but I was, I was on a call. It was like an online panel, and they were discussing about I'm not going to get too detailed on it because I don't want to name the organization, and I don't want to because I still respect the organization very much. And so there was a panel talking on there, and throughout the course of it, I'll limit this very much just by saying that what I was experiencing there, all I kept hitting in my head was, where's hope? Where is hope in this? I mean, there are a lot of good information and things like that, but there was just this sense of hopelessness. And I've heard that from other organizations or people on the outside talking about helping parents heal, that it's different because we experience that there, or many do. I shouldn't say everybody, of course, but there's an element and a thread that runs through that of hope that is different than other organizations. And so I haven't been part of many others, but I hadn't been witnessed anything that this one was doing for a while, and I just came back to see this presentation, and but I was like, wow, are we at, in such a different place because of some of these things we talk about, that our connection, our understanding of maybe the afterlife and soul connectiveness and all these different things that we talk about, has it taken us to a different level to, and me personally, I was blown away, to tell you the truth. I was like, wow, like I know how much this organization I'm talking about has meant to me in my process, and to go back and be at such a different place was shocking to me. I mean, just really shocking. And I've put off talking about it because I didn't know how to relate it. I was, kind of, it unnerved me really, but in a good way. But, what do you think about that?
What what do I think about, like, with the organization that we're part of?
Yeah,
And
yeah, and
oh,
what
well,
I'm kind of digesting out of what I experienced.
um, I feel very fortunate to have found uh, helping, I can mention the name, Helping Parents Heal. We're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that's where the hope element is. Yes,
yeah,
that's not what the organization that I was witnessing this at
right.
was.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay, yeah. I here's the thing. When I look at um, where I am today and what I believe today, and I believe in the afterlife. I believe in our souls actually before life. In other words, this soul that's occupying this body has lived many lives before. And I'm a firm believer. Nobody can convince me otherwise. I've experienced it. I've felt it. I've been through past life regressions. I know what that sense of certainty that I have is. So when I meet people or organizations or people that just don't believe in it, that's okay. I
Mhm.
just don't engage. I, I, I listen, I hear them. In a way, I have compassion for them. It's so limited, such a limited belief. Why would you want to believe? If God gave us one thing that we all agree on, I think we all agree on, is we have choice, personal dominion over our choices that we make in life. We don't have choice over sometimes the circumstances that are served up to us,
Yeah.
because outside forces can serve stuff up to us that we have no choice over. Car
Mhm.
accidents, kids passing away, things, diseases that they get. We don't have a choice over all of that stuff. We have a choice over what we do with it, over the decisions we make at this moment with that information, with that reality, with those facts. That's where our choices come in. So when I meet people who just don't get where I am and don't believe where I am, my mom taught me acceptance. It's okay.
Yeah.
If that works for you, God bless you. Go take it with you and run.
Yeah.
This is what works for me. I respect that. That's great for you, but respect that this is for me. I'm so thankful for the organizations that we are part of, you and I, in terms of the Helping Dads Heal group, the Helping Parents Heal group, the awareness that I've got in helping siblings heal, although I wish that was around when I lost two of my brothers. I'm 69, so my first brother passed away 39 years ago, and the second one 32 years ago. So it's been a long time. I wish those were around when I was in my early 30s on how to deal with that loss,
Yeah.
because that was devastating at that time for me. Um, but now the Helping Siblings Heal. So I think, I'm so thankful for all of this awareness that's happening, this enlightenment of people, and it's more than we think. There, unfortunately, I've talked about this in the men's group about having lost friends because they just don't know what to do with me at this stage. They don't know. I mean, here's what my belief is. I talk about my son as if I have a connection with him. to them, it's like too freaky, eerie, whatever. They can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So be it, you know? Um,
I say it all the time. I mean, this is just raw talk right now, what we're having here.
yeah,
And
yeah,
anyone listening out there, it's not, I'm always so cautious of this. I'm no advocate. I'm an advocate, but I'm not I have no stake in the game, like for helping parents heal, any of that stuff. It's
no,
just, I'm just talking
no,
about what's been effective for me and what's my experiences are. And so, our society sometimes throws all that on things, like, oh, he must be, getting kickback because he always talks about it or whatever, these kind of things. So ridiculous. But
no,
and
no.
so true what you say about wherever anybody is. I am totally accepting of that as well. And it's not like I was a Christian pastor at one time, and so we were evangelistic, and so you're trying to recruit people in and do this. This is nothing of the sort. In fact, I heard a great person talking about, you know, in the context of the metaphysical things that we're talking about and everything that you know, I'm just sharing my experience. You're where you are. You're on your path. And so I'm just sharing this with you. If it causes something in you to investigate further, then that's your choice. Like you said, it's all a choice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so it's the same thing. I realize all that too. I mean, people I'm sure who know me from a long time and, now know where I'm at and listen to me are like, some of them are thinking, boy, you're whacked out. And others are saying, Tom, I can identify with you, or that's intriguing. It's all different stages, right? And you just let it roll. And it's like, that's okay wherever you are. It doesn't matter to me. I'm this is self-survival, when these kind of things happen in your life. And so I'm still grasping and trying to hold on to what's helping me. And that's all I can relate to.
It's, yeah, I think that's part of what we're both doing is healing through this process of doing what we're doing, talking about our kids, talking about our sons, sharing our stories. You doing this podcast, I love it. I think it's just it's awesome. It's something that I'm getting started on doing. I thought I needed a studio for doing a podcast. You're teaching me a whole new thing because now I'm discovering Riverside. So um,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's another plug. No, we didn't plan that one either.
Okay, we didn't. Yeah, I know. Should I be careful what I say? You can edit these things
No,
out,
no,
though.
I'm not sponsored by anybody, so it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, neither am I. And
Nope,
I'm not
I just
getting
sit
any
here in my
kickback.
office.
Help.
Yeah, here I am right in my office. So I mean, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
So, but are you still looking at doing what you were telling me at the or at our meeting there? The kind of podcast that you were going to do?
Yeah, I want to do a podcast about and all people from all different kinds of walks of life and backgrounds, but about the challenges of life and how they've overcome the challenges in life, and from all different perspectives. I one of the things that Sean has done for me was introduce me to a wide range of of people that very different. One of his really good friends, a buddy that he became friends with later in life, is so different than him. Such a different background. This black kid from the hood and grew up very different than Sean did in Brooklyn, New York, in a Jewish community. And but here they found common ground and became really good friends, surrounded by a common interest in doing things that they loved to do, which was to fly drones and to race race cars. And and they found these common interests and shared lots of deep stories. And when I met this kid, he's a young man. He's a man. He's not a kid. I call him a kid. He's not a kid. Um, and we had conversations about things that were happening in the world today. I thought, wow, this would be really an interesting podcast. So we're working on putting that one out. But then from that, it expanded into people who understand what it's like to overcome some major challenges in life. And one of the other guests that are going to be on the show is this woman that Sean took care of. It was his college girlfriend, who, when they split up as a couple, they remained very close as friends. And she had gotten engaged, and at her, I guess, engagement celebration, she jumped into a pool, or dove into a pool, and became a quadriplegic, not quadra. No use of her arms and legs. And Sean remained a really close friend and ally of hers. And that's how we discovered that there was something wrong and that he had passed, because he went to her every Wednesday to bring her cooked dinner, bring groceries, cooked dinner, spend the day with her, spend the night there as her caregiver. And that Wednesday he didn't show up, and that was not like Sean. Mm-hmm. And that's when she called his current girlfriend and said, "You better get over to Sean's. I can't reach him. He's not answering his phone," and blah, blah, blah. And that's how we found out. But so I'm going to have her on as a guest. And she has overcome, she now created a program where she's teaching people how to be caregivers.
Wow.
With a grant that she contacted the Christopher Reeves Foundation, and with a grant from the Christopher Reeves Foundation, she was able to develop a program that she is now teaching. And so, because one day she found herself spent 24 hours in her chair because her caregiver didn't show up and she couldn't reach anybody, and she goes, "This has got to end. This can't be like this for people. If I'm doing this, it's happening to many people like me, and there's got to be a better way." And so she developed a better way.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, she was a PT person taking care of para and quadriplegics in her life. That's what she did for a living.
You have an amazing interconnected web around you. All these things. And people out there, I want you to talk a little bit about more of what you do and believe become Be You. But why, I would imagine so many people would be attracted to you and what's happening around you. I mean, there's an energy there that's happening that's undeniable. It's amazing.
Yeah. For me right now, my goal is to, as Sean wrote, give kids and their families an experience that they never thought possible, to teach them that anything is possible. And that with their imagination, thoughts, words, and actions, if you take a daily step in alignment with your goals and dreams, we can make it happen.
So what's the age group you're looking at?
It's middle school to high school age. Yeah, when you enter middle school up until, middle of high school, I think, is the age group. I'm working with a few families right now, actually one educator out of Oklahoma and his two kids. And he's looking at the program to help me identify the exact right age group. But right now, that's where I've been focused. And inside of on the I Believe in Me program that Rebecca wrote, she has trained hundreds of people like me to share and teach the program. And so there are people all around the world right now doing this for kids. What I've done is taken it and put it online in an online version so that anyone, anywhere can access it. And the gift that I got in return is we have it being taught in Cameroon. We had a couple of hundred girls already go through it with a woman that teaches it out there. And we're now going into Kenya. Wow. And it's going to be taught in December over there.
Amazing.
And which is awesome because it's now available online, and they're taking my version of it. They're telling their own stories with it. They're using it as a platform to teach this concept that I just talked about, and they go and they take the kids through these 7 sessions of, the I Believe in Me program. The way I broke it down on the online version is 7 courses. Basically, the introduction course, how the course started, where it came from. The second one is Thoughts Become Things. What we think about, we bring about. What we say, what we talk about, how we process things, and how our thoughts are translated into actions and that create the results that we have in our lives. And so be aware of what you think about. Be aware of what you're saying. Then we teach them meditation, visualization, journaling, affirmations. We teach them about beliefs, where our beliefs come from, and how our beliefs shape our thoughts. And if we want to change our thoughts, we have to look at the beliefs that we have around things. And so we open their eyes up, people's eyes up to perspectives and looking at things with different lenses, seeing them from another point of view. Is this working for me? If it is, great. But if it's not, maybe I can see it a different way, try it a different way, look at things.
Yeah. Change the story.
Change the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's turning limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. Then we talk about emotions, because our emotions drive our actions as well. Our thoughts, our beliefs drive our thoughts drive our feelings, and our emotions create the actions that we take we react to things based on how we feel about things. And that's the results that we get. And again, if the cycle works, great. But if it's not, where do I have to change it? Somewhere in that circle, we have to change it. And then the last, we end it with dreams, goals, and taking actions. And so we teach them a little bit about how to plan it. That's the I Believe in Me program as it stands alone that we've been taking kids through. The next phase of it is what I call my life mapping plan. And life mapping is taking a look at where you are today in the 4 pillars of life. Inside the I Believe in Me program, I've added to it these 4 pillars of life. LIFE, longevity, inner peace, family and friends, economics, and education. And those 4 pillars, I tied it to something I learned through another program I did called Body, Being, Balance, and Business. Those are the 4 pillars. So if we take a daily action step in each one of the 4 pillars, we're building, for lack of a better term, a shield, resilience. We're building power that we can tap into. So if we do something healthy for our body daily, we eat something nutritiously, we exercise, we're taking care of that pillar. Inner peace inside of our spirituality. If we meditate, if we visualize, if we journal, if we reflect, if we take time to slow down, think about our thoughts, think about what's working for us, think about it. We're taking care of our being, our spirituality. On a daily basis, you're making deposits. Our balance, the 4th pillar, family and friends. Make a deposit into the relationships. And one of the things that I do, and I strongly recommend people, if they want to take something away from this conversation, to make deposits in the people whose lives who matter to you every day. Send a note of love, honor, or appreciation to different people. Pick 2 people a day, send a note saying, hey, I want you to know I really appreciate what you did for me yesterday. I really appreciate that phone call. I really appreciate that reach out. I love you because this is what I love about you. This is how you add to my life. So make that deposit on a daily basis. And the last one, economics education, learn something every day. Read something that will enhance and grow your life, and share what you learned. Teach someone else what you learned, because by teaching it to someone else and sharing it like I'm doing with you, I'm reinforcing what I know. I'm teaching myself. So by me sharing what I just shared about body, being, balance, and business, I'm growing inside with more certainty and confidence. So that's the next phase
Mhm.
of what we teach at Believe, Become, Be You.
So yeah, the what were they, 7 or 8 elements that you went through, or sections that you went through there for the program?
On the I Believe in Me program, yeah, there was, well, 6. Yeah, there was, one is the introduction, how it all started. And then thoughts become things. The elements are your thoughts, you know, um, where your thoughts come from. I believe, everyone has a different way of looking at this, but our beliefs, to me, shape our thoughts. Our thoughts, when we think about something, bring up emotions, right?
Mhm.
When you think about something, how does it makes you feel a certain way? Either it makes you feel good, it makes you feel sad, it makes you feel angry. Based on those feelings, you're going to take an action step. People they do something. They get mad at somebody, makes them angry. They yell back. They, respond to that. And then what happens is you get a result
Mhm.
from that, which reinforces the belief,
Yeah.
right?
So say there's a loved one out there, a parent, in my case, a grandparent. You have a young person who you're thinking about your program for. Um, so you go through the steps that you just talked about with them and the child. Is that how that works?
Yeah, the program does it because we take it 1 week at a time. And then there's a homework book that they have to work on. So I don't introduce that whole thing that I just did in one lesson.
Mhm.
It's broken out in pieces, and we take them through thoughts, where our thoughts come from. We have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. They just automatically happen. What we get to do is choose which thoughts we want to focus on. We don't get to choose the thoughts. They happen. It's just from your environment. It's just from your upbringing. It's just from the way those things are coming from beliefs that were instilled in you without you having a choice of them being instilled in you.
Mhm.
You know, they're just thoughts. Slow down, look at those, and, pay attention.
Yeah, they don't have to
Because
control you.
they don't have to control you. Right.
Yeah.
They don't have to control you. There are so many little things that there's this, Brooks, trying a blank, Jennifer Brixton. Jennifer, have you ever heard of her?
No.
She's a gymnast. She's a gymnast that was born with no legs.
Hmm.
She became the tumbling champion of the world
Wow.
with no legs because she was taught from a very young age. There's no such word as can't. Never say can't.
Mhm.
I can do anything I want. I just got to put my mind to it, put my work at it. Uh, and so it's a video that we show inside of the program. But so inspiring when you listen to someone who has overcome challenges in life, that we look at them and go, how do you do that?
Mhm.
When I look at Evie, who's now a quadriplegic, how does she survive? And she has a strong will to survive
Yeah. Always astounded
because
me
this
too.
doesn't define her.
Yep.
Yeah.
So obviously people can go to the site. Again, I'm gonna give you the website. Believe, Become, Be You. And that's all spelled out. Believe, Become, BBE, and then YOU for you.com. And you can look at the program and things on there. That's for the kids, correct? And then
Kids and their families.
and the
Kids
families.
and their families, because the families are involved. There's
Mhm.
a parent workbook that when you enroll your child in the program, the parent gets a workbook. There's a weekly half-hour exercise that the parent and child does every week.
And so also the foundation, people can contribute to the foundation on the foundation site. And the foundation is the foundation for those who may not have the means to be able to do the program. Is that what it is? Like
Correct.
scholarships for
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no child left behind. The program is very affordable. I mean, I've kept it really, really it's $180 for 1 year's access to do the programs. So the program is very affordable, but some people can't afford $180.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
And so the foundation will pick up the cost. They just need to let me know. Just reach out to PapaJack at believebecomebu.com.
We'll have all the links in the show notes, so as we always do. So everything will be in there. Well, Jack, we could talk for a long time, and I'm sure we will more. But
Sure.
Amazing!
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every bit of it because I say it all the time too. But I mean, I'll look at sites and I'll skim them and get general information, and then love to have these conversations and see where they go. And this one went the way it's supposed to, for sure. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm so thankful that you have me on here. I mean, really, my goal is to spread the word, and you're helping do that and having me as a guest and talk about even our kids and helping other dads, helping other parents. I don't know, the audience, your audience, but anything we can do to help.
I know you've got it. I do too. A heart for those who are early on in this process, because we both are. And so, it's just a testament out there. We're nobody special, neither one of us. So we're just, like I said, we're just each moment, each day, just trying to scrape and scrounge and get through what we need to get through. And then things are imparted to us. This podcast was imparted to me. It was something, you got to do this. And so I'm like, okay, okay, whatever. And, and you've got these things coming to you, and they're undeniable. We have to do them. And, people don't understand that sometimes either, maybe, or whatever. And not everybody does a podcast. Not everybody does whatever. But there's a way for you to be walking through your journey in a better fashion. And that's all we're trying to get across to you. And that's for you to discover what that is and what that might be for you. So, yeah. Great stuff. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate everything.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome being here. Thank you. Thank you for this.
Yep. I'm sure we'll connect on some of the other things you're doing and everything, and along the process. And so I'm probably going to get to the point too where I'm going to start having people back on, because there's a lot to, as things progress, things get more interesting and great things to talk about. So
yeah, I'd love to be back on, and the next time talk about the successes that we've had on the program, with after we've had thousands and thousands of kids through it. So
it'd be great.
We're not there yet. We're going to get there.
Yeah, sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Thanks so much. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Heroes in Grief podcast. If you'd like access to any of the links that we discussed in today's show, you can find them in the show notes. There's also a link there to support the podcast if you care to. And there is an email link for me there. I'd love to hear from you and your ideas about the show, or what you thought about the show. You really can help out this podcast to get to more people if you subscribe, rate, or review it in whichever way your platform provides. Each week, Heroes in Grief is released on Sunday, so look for new episodes there. Thank you again for listening to Heroes in Grief.